This is part two of what I started talking about. And I feel like my message resonates with my fellow neurodivergent girlies because I know a lot of other late bloomers. Some of them resonate with what I have to say, but there are certain parts of my story, my experience, like that, especially that emotional piece where we don't always connect with people on that emotional level. Like we feel everything, don't get me wrong, but we feel it differently and we process it differently. And so when it comes to being with women, and I hear it more from women than I do from men, they say that we're cold. They say that I can't believe that, you can just walk away or leave like that. And it's like, it's about safety for us. So if you resonate with that, like a lot of other things that I talk about as it relates to this, we would probably resonate with too. It's about safety for me. Um, Safety of my central nervous system, safety of my brain space, my head space, because being late aware, late diagnosed autistic, late aware, late blooming lesbian, all of these things sent me into kind of a tailspin a few years ago when I first discovered it. And so while some would say I shouldn't have been dating, I felt like that's exactly what I needed to do because how else am I going to know if this is just a phase, if it was just her, the one girl, or if this is my life, my lifestyle, if this is me. And so I didn't date a lot because at my core, I'm a relationship girly at my core. And so being out there all willy nilly with people all up in my headspace, and, that just wasn't my thing. So I didn't date a ton, but I did date quite a bit. And because I needed to know, okay, who do I like? What don't I like? Femmes, mask presenting, hardcore, gold star, bi, what do I like? And what I learned is none of that really mattered to me. It was just a matter of, do you understand me? And if you don't understand me, do you seek to understand me? Our lifestyles being different, does that bother you that my perspective on some things are going to be different than your perspective on some things? Because I haven't talked about my dating journey much publicly, a lot of the exes and a lot of the people I talk about are so far back. And so I will never use names. The people who know me in real life, of course, they know who I'm talking about when I mention them. But um, I just remember feeling like such an alien when I first started dating women. Like I didn't know if it was because I had never had desires to be with a woman, or later on when I was diagnosed with autism, or if it was because of my autistic brain. Like, is that why I'm having a hard time connecting on that emotional level? Not connecting in the sense that I don't love and care about them, but connecting the way they're connecting. Like, this is going to sound so bad, but the level of delusion, like, why am I not able to get into it on that level of delusion that I felt like a lot of people were? Like, oh, the sun and the stars and the moon, and you're my everything. And I just want to give it up all for you and pack my stuff up and move. We've known each other for 2 weeks. The logical part of me was like, now in the beginning, like them first few, I was like, oh, because you think it's just talk. You think it's just talking, it's just puppy. But then when you start realizing that they actually make a move, you like, whoa, wait a minute. It's only been 2 weeks. So I never was able to connect with that. So I always question, okay, is it because I was with a man all these years? Is it because I'm afraid? Is it fear? I never knew exactly what it was. So I stopped dating. I stopped dating because I said, I got to figure this out because people fall in love with your girl quick. I ain't tooting my own horn, but toot toot. Because I have this energy about me. And if you've ever met me in real life, you'll know what I'm talking about. Where I tend to make people feel safe and comfortable, because that's just who I am. I tend to create the same space for others that I want to be created for me. And so since I have never found anybody to create that space for me, I usually end up creating it for myself. But the autistic part of me is okay with that. I don't get lonely or long for that. So people fall in love with me fairly quickly, like obsession almost, because I'm very self-aware. I'm very emotionally intelligent. I am very introspective. I'm a Gemini, so they get all the things from all of us. you know, the boss, the businesswoman, the mom, the nurturer, the lover, the freak, the let's bring in the gang. Like you get it all from me, right? And so people tend to fall in love with me quickly, and that's not a flex that I'm flexing, good. That's a responsibility, right? There's responsibility in that. And so because I know that about myself, and because I started to feel like it's not fair for me to date these women knowing that I am on a journey and I'm finding myself, and they have experienced so much negativity in the community already. I don't want to be one of those girls that they think is just a trisexual, or you coming over here to play with us, or you coming over here and then you gonna run back over there. I did not want to bear the weight of that, and I didn't want to be another person to hurt or harm. And so I did the responsible thing and I stopped dating because I knew I wasn't emotionally available to date. That's just the reality of it. Not because I didn't want to, because I love having fun and I love the relationship part because I'm a relationship girly at heart. Um, it was because I knew that there was a large responsibility in doing that when you're dating women, dating anybody really, but for women in particular. I felt this sense of responsibility that I knew I wasn't emotionally available, and I didn't want to be another number that hurt someone. So I stopped dating to just work on me, to do my healing, learn more about my autistic brain. Then my son was diagnosed with autism, so I'm dealing with that and processing that, and him in the school system, and you know um, I was going through divorce, and so finalizing that, and having a co-parenting relationship, shifting the dynamics. I was going through a lot of things that I needed to be focusing on, right? So not dating was a good thing. It was good. I dated for like a year, and then I said no more. It was exhausting. So but as I was working on myself and as I was exploring who I was, I realized that the man that I was with, as amazing and as awesome as he is, I picked up his ways in its great ways. Like, he's an amazing leader. He's very logical. He's very analytical. He's very, he's definitely, he's a Pisces, so he's very like mellow and even toned, even keeled. And I'm just Gemini. And so he always grounded me and balanced me and knew how to talk me off of ledges. So I learned how to do that to other people. So it's like he would do it for me, but then I would get into dynamics where I was him in more ways than one. So I was him in the um be more logical. Why are you so emotional? Not emotionally available. Like, I was him in a lot of ways that I felt like was doing harm. And so I needed to stop dating so I can work on that and figure out, okay, who do I want to be? Is that me in relationships? Is that the autistic part of me? Is that learned behavior? Or is that just me and that's just who I am? Wasn't sure. Let's talk about that in part 3.